What would it take for your investments, not your job, to pay you $6,000 every month? Most people think it requires winning the lottery, hitting a home run, or saving huge amounts of money every year. But what if the real path looks nothing like that? What if the answer is almost too simple? Only $25 a week. In this video, I'm going to walk you and Josh through exactly how this works. We'll look at what rising costs really mean for your wallet today, why dividend growth ends up outperforming high-yield stocks, and how a simple $25 weekly habit can turn into something serious over time. I will show you the common mistakes people make, how to avoid them, the checklist for picking strong dividend companies, and the 5 stocks that fit this strategy perfectly. And in the end, I'll show you that 5-stock portfolio that can turn a $25 weekly investment into a portfolio worth over $900,000 that pays more than $6,000 a month in dividend income. To understand why this simple strategy matters so much, we need to take a quick look at what's happening around us financially, because that context explains everything that comes next. Life has become more expensive in ways most people feel every single month, and the newest data makes that impossible to ignore. Rent inflation, though somewhat better, is sitting at 3.6% as of, which means housing costs will rise by that rate. Layer that on top of overall inflation, 3% year over year, and it's easy to understand why groceries, utilities, and medical costs feel like they eat up more of your budget than ever. But the real pressure comes from the gap between rising expenses and income growth. According to the Bureau of Labor Statistics, the median full-time American worker earns $1,196 per week, which comes out to about $4,784 per month before taxes. When you break down earnings by age group, the picture gets even clearer. Workers aged 25 to 34 average $1,139 per week, while those aged 35 to 44 average $1,351 per week. Even at your peak earning years, wages simply haven't kept up with how fast daily life has become more expensive. And when you add in an unemployment rate hovering around 4.4%, along with the long-term GDP data that shows the economy growing but dipping hard during recessions, you start to understand why so many households feel stretched. Those dips are the moments when jobs feel less secure, savings get drained, and even small financial surprises hit harder than they should. So, month after month, many people feel like they're doing everything right, showing up to work, paying their bills, trying to save what they can, yet still not getting ahead. Income covers the basics, but not much more. Savings grow slowly, investing feels difficult, and small emergencies become major setbacks. The math isn't working in their favor. And this is exactly why the goal of this video exists. Because the average American brings home around $4,700 a month, yet the long-term income target we're building toward is bigger. The potential of earning $6,000 per month purely from dividends. That's income that doesn't rely on clocking in, doesn't require overtime, and doesn't depend on whether your employer gives you a raise. It's not about getting rich quickly. It's about building a second income stream that grows automatically to keep up with the cost of living. Once you see the financial landscape for what it is, the next question becomes pretty natural. How do you build income that actually grows with you instead of falling behind? That's where dividend growth comes in. Dividend growth is really the core of this whole strategy, and once you get how it works, the rest of the plan starts making sense. A dividend isn't just a payment you receive for owning a company. Its real strength shows up when that payment increases every year. When a company raises its dividend, it gives you an automatic income boost without you investing more money or taking on extra risk. In the beginning, those increases look tiny, almost forgettable, but give them time, and they start stacking in a way that surprises people. New investors often chase high-yield stocks because the payouts look huge up front, and on the surface, that feels smart. The problem is that many of those dividends don't grow, and in some cases, they aren't even sustainable. Dividend growth companies work differently. They start with a reasonable yield, but what makes them valuable is their history of raising dividends consistently, often for decades. Over long periods, those steady increases multiply your income far more reliably than a flashy yield that doesn't grow. That's why experienced dividend investors focus on reliability instead of chasing the biggest number on the screen. Companies that raise their dividends through good times and bad create income that becomes more reliable over time. That kind of stability is what forms the backbone of long-term wealth building. When you combine those growing dividends with a simple, consistent investing routine, your income starts to accelerate naturally. It grows slowly at first, then faster in the later years as compounding finally kicks in. The potential of this entire plan comes from how small it starts. Investing $25 a week doesn't feel like a big financial move, and that's why it works. It's an amount most people can fit into their budget, but when you repeat it every single week, it becomes a steady income source for the future. You're not waiting for extra money or perfect timing. You're letting small steps create long-term momentum. To see how this plays out, let's walk through a simple example. Investing $25 per week adds up to about $100 to $120 a month, or roughly $1,300 a year, considering 52 weeks in a year. If your investments earn about 3% in dividends, year one will bring in about $40. It's not exciting yet, but it's the spark. By year two, those weekly deposits plus reinvested dividends, the important factor, can push your income to around $90 a year. By year three, it will grow to roughly $150. By year four, you might see around $220. And by year five, your annual dividend income could land near $300, all from the same simple $25 habit and reinvesting those dividends. The early numbers look small, but they're building the foundation for everything that comes later. What makes this strategy so effective is consistency. Every weekly deposit buys you a fraction of a share, and those fractions slowly become full shares. Today's brokerage apps makes this effortless. You don't need to save up $200 for a full share of anything. You invest your $25 and your ownership grows piece by piece. As the weeks stack up, your contributions keep growing your ownership, and the companies you own start raising their dividends. Your income doesn't grow in a straight line, it curves upward. Slow at first, then noticeably faster once compounding has enough time to do its thing. In a couple of minutes, I will show you the checklist for choosing strong companies and the 5 stocks that fit the plan. And in the end, I'll show you how that 5-stock portfolio can turn a $25 weekly investment into a portfolio worth over $900,000 that pays more than $6,000 a month in dividend income. But first, you need to know what tends to get in the way of that progress, because that's where a lot of people unintentionally slow themselves down. Risk is one of those topics most investors like to avoid, but understanding it is what keeps this strategy working over the long run. A lot of new investors expect their money to grow in a straight line, and the moment the market dips, they assume the strategy isn't working. But pullbacks aren't a sign that something is broken. They're a normal part of investing. Prices move up and down constantly, and even strong companies have slow periods. What matters is the direction over years, not days. One of the most common mistakes is letting short-term emotions reshape a long-term plan. When the market drops, panic convinces people to pause their weekly investing. Ironically, that reaction usually does more harm than the downturn itself. The investors who see the best results are the ones who keep going when things feel uncertain, because lower prices often mean you're buying more ownership for the same weekly amount. Another mistake is expecting fast results. Dividend investing works, but it's not meant to feel impressive early on. The first few years are slow because your income is still tiny. Giving up during that phase means missing the moment when compounding finally becomes noticeable and eventually exciting. Chasing high-yield stocks is another trap. Big yields look appealing, but if the business behind them is weak, those payouts get cut. That's why focusing on reliable companies with histories of raising dividends is so important. Once you understand these risks and avoid these traps, the strategy becomes much easier to follow. Now, it's time to look at how to choose the right companies in the first place. The goal isn't to chase the highest yields or jump into whatever is trending. The focus is on finding businesses that have proven they can pay dividends consistently and raise those dividends year after year. That kind of reliability only comes from companies with strong cash flow, steady profits, and business models that don't fall apart when the economy hits a rough patch. One of the first things to look at is dividend growth history. When a company has raised its dividend for 5, 10, or even 20 years, it's showing you that it can reward shareholders through different market conditions. You also want a payout ratio that's healthy, meaning the balance isn't paying out so much in dividends that it leaves no room to reinvest in its own growth. A dividend payout ratio, usually below 70%, keeps the dividend stable and allows it to rise over time. Durability is another key factor. Companies with products or services people rely on, whether the economy is booming or struggling, tend to produce steadier earnings, and steady earnings support steady dividend increases. Long-term share price appreciation matters as well. While dividend income is a major part of the strategy, rising stock prices amplify your total return and strengthen the long-term compounding effect. Lastly, it's important to avoid companies that depend on unpredictable trends or one-time spikes. Dividend investing rewards consistency, not excitement. Using this blueprint for picking solid dividend stocks, I narrowed things down to 5 companies for today's portfolio. Let's start with AbbVie, because it shows how valuable stability can be. It offers a 3.04% dividend yield, a 12.5% dividend growth rate over the last 10 years, and 13.37% annual share price appreciation. Its products are used regularly, year after year, which keeps cash coming in and helps support those reliable dividend increases. EastGroup Properties adds its own kind of strength. It has a 3.42% yield, 9.55% dividend growth, and 11.26% annual appreciation. Because it focuses on industrial properties, spaces businesses rely on regardless of what the economy is doing, it creates a steady and predictable income stream. Nexstar is where things speed up. It brings a 3.89% yield, a massive 25.62% dividend growth rate, and 12.11% annual appreciation. That combination is rare. It makes Nexstar one of the fastest growing dividend engines in this group, and it helps push long-term results higher. Lowe's brings dependability. Its yield is 1.98%, paired with a strong 16.51% dividend growth rate and 11.21% annual appreciation. People always need home repairs and improvements, which helps Lowe's keep revenue steady and dividends rising even during tougher economic periods. And then there's SCHD, which keeps everything balanced. It delivers a 3.75% yield, 10.43% dividend growth, and 7.67% annual appreciation. Since it holds a basket of proven dividend companies, it's the stabilizer that smooths out volatility and strengthens the whole portfolio. The next step is to calculate the portfolio metrics, starting with the portfolio dividend yield. To keep things simple, we're using a basic average, also called a simple average. That just means we add up the dividend yields of all 5 stocks and then divide by the number of stocks. So here are the dividend yields we're working with. AbbVie at 3.04%, EastGroup Properties at 3.42%, Nexstar at 3.89%, Lowe's at 1.98%, and SCHD at 3.75%. The first thing we do is add those percentages together. 3.04 plus 3.42 plus 3.89 plus 1.98 plus 3.75. When you add them up, you get a total of 16.08. That 16.08 represents the combined yield of all 5 stocks before averaging. Now, because we have 5 companies in the portfolio and we're using a simple average, we divide that total, 16.08, by 5. When you do that, you get a 3.22% dividend yield for the portfolio. You can follow this exact same process to calculate the portfolio's average dividend growth rate and average annual share price appreciation. When you do, you'll get a portfolio dividend growth rate of 14.92% and an average annual share price appreciation of 11.12%. Now it's time to see how this portfolio can actually grow if Josh puts $25 a week into it. By the end of year 1, Josh will have invested around $1,300. It doesn't look like much yet, but this sets the stage for future growth. By year 10, the projections show his balance will grow to around $27,000, and the portfolio will be paying roughly $1,000 a year in dividends. By year 20, compounding will become even more visible. His balance is projected to reach about $153,000, and his annual dividends will rise to roughly $8,000. And then comes the final push, where the numbers will accelerate the fastest. By year 30, this simple weekly habit is projected to build a portfolio worth nearly $921,000, which will generate around $72,000 a year or $6,000 a month in dividends. If you could only invest in one index fund, just one, that has the potential to turn $10 into a $2.2 million portfolio and pay over $6,000 a month in dividend income, click the video on your screen to find out which one it is.